The prospect of a Russian military invasion of Ukraine has become even more realistic in the past few hours, following a televised address by President Putin. He said he'd signed a decree recognising 2 breakaway regions of Ukraine and insisted that history was on his side because Ukraine, in his view, was not a true nation. The 2 regions in question are Donetsk and Luhansk, and diplomats warned that recognising these as independent states would give Russia the justification it wants to send in troops under the guise of protecting its own citizens. President Biden has agreed in principle to hold a summit with President Putin to discuss the crisis, but only if Russia gives up any plans to invade. Several major European airlines are suspending or reducing the number of flights to Ukraine because of security concerns. Our Moscow correspondent, Steve Rosenberg, has the latest for us.
It was an astonishing piece of political theatre, played out on Russian TV. The protagonist, the president, Vladimir Putin, alone, aloof, like a modern-day czar. The supporting cast, members of Russia's powerful Security Council. I will let you all speak, he said. Then we must decide what to do. And one by one, they spoke, all urging President Putin to defy Kiev and the West and officially recognise the pro-Russia rebel republics in eastern Ukraine. We must recognise these republics, the Interior Minister says, but within their earlier, larger boundaries. The President listened, but looked like a man who'd already made up his mind. Later, he addressed the nation.
The essence of the aggressive nationalistic character of the regime that seized power in Kiev hasn't changed. I consider it necessary to immediately recognise the independence and sovereignty of the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics.
Act 2, the signing ceremony. The leaders of the rebel republics were already in Moscow. They clearly knew what President Putin's decision would be. Earlier, this. Russian TV claimed Ukraine was shelling the rebel republics. Fake news, Kiev says, and Moscow inventing a pretext for military intervention. In recent days, thousands of civilians from the separatist republics have been evacuated to Russia. Moscow's been accused of using these people as political pawns. Many here are confused and frightened by what's been happening. The geopolitical consequences of Vladimir Putin's decision are not their priority. Tonight, in the rebel republics Russia has recognised, celebrations. But elsewhere in Ukraine and in the West, deep concern that Moscow may now move its forces openly into eastern Ukraine, that the Kremlin is set on a major escalation. Well, it was Moscow that basically created these rebel republics 8 years ago, after Russia first intervened militarily in eastern Ukraine. But Vladimir Putin's official recognition of their independence is a watershed moment. First of all, it basically kills off the internationally recognised peace process that Mr. Putin himself recommitted himself to just a few days ago. It also raises fears of a major military escalation in eastern Ukraine. And from the decree he signed, it's clear that Vladimir Putin is already sending troops into those rebel republics, as the decree says, to keep the peace.